everybody, welcome welcome back to my channel. My name is Leah Catherine, this is Lacey's Movies, and we are back with the next episode of Young Justice, and miracles do come true. That miracle being Rocket is indeed getting her own arc, even though I did not believe it could ever happen. What's her last name? I don't know. How old is she? Unsure. What is she doing now as a person? Not familiar. But she is getting her own arc, so we'll get answers to all those questions and more. Absolutely not. You've already told me in the comments. She's present mostly, but it's not really like about her, which makes sense. So I'm not getting my hopes up too high on this, but I'm kind of excited conceptually. I really have no idea what this is about to be about, but from the little thumbnail, it looks like Peacemaker might be in this episode, which should be interesting. I actually still have not watched the Peacemaker television show, which is very unlike me, but there's a lot of television in the world now. Maybe it'll be my next show after I finish this. Who knows? But yeah, literally other than that, I have no idea what this could possibly be about. We're definitely going to be cutting back to Gar, to Connor, to the main characters. So that part I kind of expect. But as for anything in regards to Rocket herself, no idea. Because of that, keeping this brief, let's get started.
Okay, mommy. Amistad, come on, we've got to go.
So he's supposed to be autistic?
It's August, you don't need a hat. You'll be too warm in that hat.
I can't go to Daddy without my wool hat.
I would say yes. She looks good though. A+ character design. Wish I saw her more.
She's most bad.
Excuse me, young man? I am so sorry. He's very sensitive to perfumes. He didn't mean it the way it sounded.
I did mean it. She does smell bad.
You can't just say that kind of thing. It's not polite.
It's not polite for her to smell bad.
Oh. Station's closed for
We
construction.
always get up at 16th Avenue to go to Daddy.
Next stop, 17th Avenue.
Maybe public transportation wasn't the best route for him?
Good morning.
It was fine. You have the Justice League codes to reach me if there's a problem.
About that, we've got Amistad's school conference next week. Go over his IE.
She looks amazing. He? No.
They just don't get him at that school. They don't understand how intelligent he is.
No one's denying he's
Like,
intelligent, Raquel, but that doesn't
walk me
mean
through the
that
process here.
Diagnosed him with autism.
The goatee, the eyes, very round.
Not today.
Maybe it's just jarring because everyone else on the show has very angular eyes. Like, even her son has, like, more of, like, a square. Seeing someone with, like, almost a circle is, like, weird. I know they're talking about very important things regarding the welfare of her child, but I'm distracted by the character design choices for the father. I mean, that's rough while still being on the Justice League. How you're balancing, like, parent-teacher conferences, like, as a regular parent, but, like, with a kid with special needs. Yeesh. Like, I don't know if I'm impressed or, like, why are you still in the Justice League? Not saying every mother needs to retire from her job, but maybe a less time-consuming one. Maybe be, like, a girl in the chair type role, you know what I mean? Like, you work in a satellite office. Going to space is crazy.
And frankly, after being cooped up in the Javelin for 2 days...
Like, maybe start a work-from-home program for the League.
Is Flash ready to stretch Flash's legs for Flash's first mission as a Justice Leaguer?
Yeah, it's nice being the new kid for a change.
Why is that elderly man joining the Justice League? Just because your wife died does not mean you should get back in the saddle.
We are here to represent Earth at the summit. Get a treaty signed if we can.
Yeah. Justice League meets the New Gods, meets the Green Lantern Corps. Big old hero summit. A surefire hoot.
Any last-minute advice on navigating New Genesis?
Forager is unsure what to tell
I have so many questions about this lineup. This woman should be at home. He's a high school graduate, and this elderly man is saying it's going to be a hoot. Not Peacemaker. He just has a similar face gear thing. Ooh, pretty. That's a nicely drawn city. There's so much purple on this show. It really makes using purple as my background box Really inconvenient.
Welcome, honored guests. I am Solis, called Lightray. Allow me to introduce High Father Iyaza the Inheritor, High Mother Avia the Wisdom Bringer, and their son, Orion, Dog of War.
Oh boy, the Dog of War is leading the peace talks? This should go swimmingly.
Delivery of drained crystals, Captain Celestia.
Enter.
It wasn't crystals, it's gonna be, well, one of the crystals is a bomb. Or something similar to that. Oh.
Forger is.
Or there's just a dude with the crystals. I guess that works too.
Welcome
Not
to
creative.
Supertown. The first bug to be so welcomed, and
More racism in space! You know what we were missing with the last time we went to space? The racism. Or speciesism. That man said, "Oh yay, a bug! Here! I love that!" Could not even fake the funk with his
This is unknown
disgust.
technology. It should be confiscated for study.
Kid, you're gonna want to rethink that policy.
What? How do you confiscate technology? I don't know what that is. It's mine now.
Fine. Request withdrawn.
Well, you don't use the word confiscate for a request. And also, you can't just take stuff because you don't know what it is.
A bug?
How unusual. A thief has broken into our secured warehouse.
I like that monotone. You introduce a character called Dog of War, you think it's gonna be like, ah! And instead he's just like, interesting. A thief. They must be apprehended. Nah.
Dogs, hear me! We outnumber the new gods on Apocalypse 1,000 to 1. If we all rose up together, we could even overthrow Darkseid.
Don't you say it, Dragon. You'll get us all killed. Or worse, re-educated.
See? Angular eyes, angular eyes, angular eyes. I'm not... No one else thought that dude's like drawing was a little jarring when you saw him? Okay, hers are kind of round, but even then you have that like, not all the way round.
Come with me. There are others you should meet.
I feel like you're yelling very loudly about how you want to rebel and stuff, and those people don't look like they want to be a part of that.
On. It'll give you a chance to see my unknown technology in action.
My priorities do not include... Help would be appreciated.
Is he like a person or a robot? I mean, I guess he's a person, but he's there's no emotional reaction.
Impressive. To time one's descent with Supertown's trajectory and speed in order to drop into the lake below required calculation worthy of Mother Box. Mother Box
His
cannot
eyes are
track the
glowing.
thief.
Then we'll take the direct approach.
Okay, wonderful ball, love it a lot, but I would be furious if they're still like, I can only hold one ball.
Now.
Okay, someone's claustrophobic.
You all right?
Fine. I'm fine.
That,
Great. Because the thief got away.
that was not fine behavior. It's a Connor.
Who are you?
I am the Superboy.
Who are you?
A xenomorph.
He's losing his sense of identity. Trapped in a loop of endless jumping. Controlled by Lex Luthor.
To replace Superman should he perish. To destroy him should he turn from the light.
that's right, my boy. Very good.
Genuinely, how did they think a half-human clone of Superman would defeat him? Like, to kill him if he turned from the light. Okay. How?
How do you know she's female?
Is not the bug's gender obvious?
Why is it all privy to this meeting?
Forager's main talent is just gender identification. He can always tell.
A radion-powered ruction cell.
It must be ancient. No wonder it was warehoused. It's both obsolete and dangerous.
Does the other bug know that?
I think not.
We must search the hive near the lake.
No. Notice the bug's markings. This bug is of the mountain hive.
I thought you might be useful.
We can all be useful.
Poor Forager. They literally brought him for hate crimes. And like, they know that the new gods treat the bugs like crap, so I don't know why. Maybe just to make a point of like, he's part of the league, so you gotta respect him, but...
Another rebel against Lord Darkseid.
Rebel? I never thought of rebelling until I heard you speak.
But you were susceptible. Take this traitor to the re-education.
That is bona fide entrapment. Are you kidding me?
Oliver Ark. That's the 16th traitor you've arrested. My father is pleased and summons you for an audience.
You did not get your siblings' looks. I don't think that should count. You yell about rebellion and then someone goes, hey, what's up? You're like, traitor. I would have just been vibing.
Forager has brought a great gift to the mountain hive. Kadon Forager!
So is Forager actually a title more than a name?
New gods approach the hive!
Oh, look at
Here, but Forager trusts Larvae will keep this great prize safe. Yes, Larvae will!
Highfather has a rule against entering bug hives without permission. Orion has come to retrieve the Ruction cell stolen from the new gods.
Bugs know not of any Ruction cell. Ruction cell? What is the Ruction cell?
Honestly, they all seem like terrible lies. I wouldn't even think they could lie based off Forager.
If Forager did forage Cell, then Cell is Forager's. Or as Forager spent so much time with new gods, Forager has forgotten what it means to forage.
Pirate's life for thee.
But if Cell explodes, Forager will have no hive, no elders, no foragers, no larvae to roll with.
Forager will bring new gods to the Cell.
No. Keep them outside. Don't let the cops in your house. If you're going, hey, you know what? It is dangerous. I'll bring it out.
We're protecting the hive's new prize.
Larvae are much like Forager.
No. They are doing what she told them to do. So if we went to space to kill babies, I'm gonna be very upset.
Excellent work. Always good to see our new Superman doing the occasional rescue. Keeps the mob cheery. Now that the old Superman and his crimes are all but forgotten, we need to save our boy for more important tasks. As when he dispatched that untrustworthy vigilante, or when he dismantled that orbiting threat to all mankind. These are the things he excels at.
Not the back break!
You know what you must do.
No, Father.
She's slowing you down, son.
But
to survive, you must shed useless attachments. Clean your slate. Time to let her go.
This is fun, but I'm very curious how being exploded has led to this. Like, even if we assume he wasn't exploded and he was, like, in that moment teleported to another place.
Larvae trails. Where would mountain larvae go?
Follow Forager.
Teleported to this void, which, you know, would drive you crazy. But then how would they activate him?
Earth, I ask you to fulfill your promise.
Darkseid is neither amused nor impressed with my Oliver Ark's impudence, but complete one final task for your dread lord.
Your dreadlord? Hey! The hive!
Follow this one's orders as if they were Darkseid's own.
Who are you?
I am Lor Zod.
Well, alright then. May not know him personally, but I do know the Zod name. He carries some esteem. Some prestige, if you will. Guys, don't poke stuff. Oh. Children. You guys maybe shouldn't have said, you know it would be really fun if we give this random energy thing to children.
Cell to me.
You guys have found larvae and will take Forager's gifts.
Larvae, stop! Force bubble around it.
No, don't attack.
This is new god honor.
Not the babies.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
if they're still doing the like, I can only hold one bubble thing, I was gonna be like so annoyed. But there are 2 bubbles. Like, is this all Rocket's ever gonna be? Just...
Please, he's claustrophobic.
I mean, I feel like there were issues before the claustrophobia.
Jason! Jason, look! This isn't you, okay?
Y'all just keep anybody in the field, yo. Like, perhaps you should take up baking? Like, go home. Do you need...
Apologies.
Move to a nice farm, lots of empty space.
I lost control again. Another inheritance from my biological father.
Job. Without your insight, we never would have found the cell in time.
You both did great. Wish I'd done as well. Totally froze up in the clutch.
Don't.
What did you freeze up about? Your bubbles were occupied.
Gotta lead negotiations tomorrow. And I'll be negotiating with a monster.
I mean, he does seem like he feels bad about it. He said he lost control. Something about, you know, a biological impetus pushing him towards chaos. So, you know, a little sympathy.
Talking to yourself or someone else? I'm guessing the latter, which means you're suffering from zone sickness, hallucinating. We all go through it.
How do I know you're not a hallucination?
Because we've never seen each other before. You're real, and that girl you're carrying is real. Anyone else is just a sickness talking. My name's Drew, by the way. Drew Zod.
Another Zod.
Drew Zod.
Alright. The Phantom Zone! Heyo! I know, I've heard of that. And I can stop calling it the Quantum The Quantum Zone, finally.
Recruited into our new Justice League reserves.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
couldn't find any clear pictures of them. But the recruitment committee should also consider
Delphise!
Etrigan the Demon and the Phantom Stranger.
You should probably not be including Mary. She kind of failed out of magic school.
Need cooperative plans of action with Mars and maybe Thanagar. And if Rocket's negotiations go as hoped, with New Genesis and O.
Does Rocket have negotiation experience? I wouldn't know, but she didn't seem particularly confident about...
Last thing we want or need is for a reserve mission to cost us the trust we've worked so hard to build.
That was fun. Like, I had a good time. The Rocket parts, I'll just start with that because ironically that's going to be the quickest part of this little recap here. She has a father of her child she's clearly not with. He has upsettingly round eyes, just like Sim kind of eyes. I don't like it. I don't know who made that animation decision. I think we should have a conversation because why did they make him look like that? Anyway, she has a son with autism. She's also trying to balance being a parent to, and you know, a child with extra needs and also a member of the Justice League, which it seems like, for what basically feels like an introduction to her character, that is so much, right? Like, she's on the Justice League, she's a mom, she has a child with special needs, there's a lot going on in her life. Let's go. Also, here's a high school graduate and an old guy. Like, very weird lineup. This feels like if this was the first time we'd ever met Rocket, I don't think this would have felt any different. Like, this didn't make me go, oh yeah, this feels like it's built on things we've seen. The only thing I've seen are her powers or her technology skill set at this point. Like, everything else feels brand new. And as far as her technology skill set goes, we now know she can hold 2 bubbles. So, 10 years, like, never say, you know, never stop grinding. There's always a new level. There's always 2 bubbles. Woohoo! Yeah, so she can hold 2 bubbles now. She's in charge of intergalactic negotiation with the new gods, and while pretending they're not extremely space racist. Is she qualified for that job at all? I have no way of knowing. She doesn't seem confident in herself, so that doesn't make me happy. And then we have that last little note of like, well, if Rocket's mission goes well, then we'll see. Like, why didn't they send anyone who's perhaps been to New Genesis before along with her? Like, they sent other characters, presumably because, like, we also know Forager, and we know of Jay, like, we know him, but like, he's not. I cannot for the life of me figure out why they brought him back. I feel like there's supposed to be some emotional moment that's going to happen as a result of him being this, because you don't bring an old guy in with a dead wife unless he's going to sacrifice himself for someone younger soon. But why? And again, if she has no negotiation experience, if she hasn't been to New Genesis, why wouldn't you send someone who's been there before? It doesn't make sense. Oh, my phone died. I feel like they're setting Jay up just to be like, he's gonna sacrifice himself for somebody, and obviously Forager is going to be with his hive again, right? Like, he was a refugee, basically. He was a refugee from his own planet. He was scared of ever going back for fear of literally being killed by his own people. And he found a new family, and that's amazing. But going back and reuniting with the people who look like you, talk like you, feel like you, have the same culture as you, that means a lot. So are they going to take this moment to kind of do a little bit of an exploration of Forager, and is he going to be tempted to go back home? Like, he said he didn't want to 5 years ago, but that's because he was away from them. Now that he's back, now that he maybe has found some new attractive bugs, maybe he's going to see a hot ladybug, and that's going to keep him New Genesis bound. I feel like that's what we're going to get as some kind of, you know, C plot. Moving on, the Dog of War, which is a really mean name, because I was kind of joking about, like, wow, is he a robot? Like, he's so, like, monotone, so emotionless, so this, so that. Obviously, to see that he's extremely, extremely, like, contained, because there's this Hulk side of him that could be unleashed. It can be unleashed via claustrophobia, pain, anger, whatever. So knowing that, calling him the Dog of War is incredibly demeaning. Why do they keep him in these streets when he has this condition? I'm not sure. I feel like a lot of people on these shows, I'm like, have you considered doing anything else? You don't need to be here. Maybe he does. Maybe they're forcing him to do this. I don't know. But I do think if you have to control your temper with a mother box, like, in your face every 3 seconds, then perhaps a life of goat herding would be better. And then, dun dun dun, got some big reveals. We have the return of McGann's brother, Malala Yafusa. Anyway, McGann's brother, who clearly never learned his lesson. He still wants to do some terrorism back on Mars, and honestly, I get it, but, like, you're not... Maybe selling your soul to Darkseid isn't a great plan? I don't know. He's doing some terrorism. He's catching some rebels against Darkseid, against the new gods. In return for, Jesus Christ, I cannot talk today. In return for an unspecified favor, a boon, I think we can guess, because his previous boon was murdering all the green people. So I think it's probably the same boon as last time. He just wants it to work. Very one-track minded, but you know, that is how you achieve your goals. Now he is under the kind of sub-rule of Azod, whose other name I immediately forgot. Just gone. I am a little sad because I thought this was going to be a hive thing based off the little, you know, hive-looking pattern on his space ball. But now I'm not sure, because I don't know enough about Hive to know if there's any Zod-based connections. I hear Zod, I think Krypton. I also hear Phantom Zone, I think Krypton and Superman's type stories. So I'm pretty sure if they're not full Kryptonians, they're at least partially so. I mean, it's fun. It's like one of those things where I'm like, ooh, fun. Don't know what it means, though. Couldn't tell you. But, like, as a reveal, it gets you, like, especially since it's literally been, like, 3 arcs since he appeared and killed Superboy. It's like, ooh, okay. There's a little connection. And he's the one who brought the kryptonite, which is interesting, because it's like, if he is a Kryptonian, would that not weaken him? But I mean, I guess he's, you know, just dropping it off. It doesn't really matter. Maybe he wore gloves. He's working with Darkseid. We know from the future traveler people that there is a thing that happens that Connor needs to be there to stop. So the other people went back in time to kill him to prevent him from stopping that thing, right? And they asked Superman to take up the mantle in place of Connor, But because they did not go back to their time, the timeline didn't correct itself, either A, they're so far outside of their timeline it just can never go back, or B, Superman could not do the job for whatever reason. So now we go from that to what appears to be that guy's dad, based off the similar names and appearance. It's like there's connections, right? There's connections on the board. Can I like piece them into like a solid theory? No, I cannot. But there are connections. I am kind of happy I can stop calling it the quantum realm. That's nice. And now I feel this is one of those things where all those times where I said like, oh, maybe like the comic book fans or the hardcore fans are looking at this like, Leah, you're an idiot. How can't you know it's... And I just like, I don't know, this weird zone. And then the minute you say Phantom Zone, I'm like, oh my god. Yeah. That's a thing. That's a thing you should have known. But I don't know, I'm not an expert in Phantom Zone. So it wouldn't like come to mind unprompted. You have to like say it and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing. So the Phantom Zone's a thing. I'm pretty sure, going off my earlier theory where I was saying like Connor wasn't killed, he was brutally burned in that fire. But in the moment of what was his presumed death, he was teleported somewhere. That place was the Phantom Zone. The question is why? If they know that people trapped in the Phantom Zone can go insane, thus making them more mentally malleable, that could be why they sent Connor there, and then Lex can swoop back in, put his programming back in, red sun, red sun, red sun. Woohoo. Because if they just sent him there like for funsies, what, right? What's the purpose of that? You could have just killed him. You had a bomb filled with kryptonite, that would have been done. So if the person who sent him to the Phantom Zone isn't the child's teen Zod, the younger Zod, if it wasn't him, that guy, younger Zod, wanted to kill Connor, then that means someone saved him by sending him to the Phantom Zone. Not a great plan, but one that, you know, saved him from being murdered. The issue then is that if they saved him by teleporting him, why wouldn't they rescue him for months and months and months at a time? I don't have an answer to that. I'm talking myself into like, usually I say circles, I'm talking myself into knots. Hold on, hold on, hold on. We have Darkseid. We have the child Zod. We have the Light, Vandal, Lex, Cool, who in the end game are gonna come at a head-to-head, right? So, child Zod works for Darkseid. He's the one who put the kryptonite in that bomb, presumably to kill Connor. Cool. If they just wanted to fake his death with the intention of teleporting him to the Phantom Zone where he would be eventually go insane, be very malleable, easy to control, that's option, right? Like option B, it was a planned murder with the intention of murder. That was Vandal Savage. Like, hey, Connor is gonna be an issue. Not Vandal Savage. Oh my god, there's too many people. Darkseid wanted to kill Connor for some reason. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Connor is important enough for Darkseid's like one-on-one consideration, but I guess he's part Kryptonian. That's pretty threatening. So they're like, hey, we're gonna kill Superboy, maybe take out the Martians if you can, I don't really mind. We're gonna kill Superboy, but then someone else saves him from Darkseid's murder attempt. Then the question would be, who would save him from the murder attempt, but not get him out of the quantum realm, which then goes back to, would someone in the light do that? Because then that would be foiling Darkseid's plan, which is ultimately what they want to do, and give them potential mental control over Connor, which is generally what the light is more into anyway. They're really big on mind control. And having a very fragile, broken version of Connor would be useful to them. Plan B is making a bit more sense to me just because I can't think of a reason that Darkseid would want to keep Connor in a little Phantom Zone box. But with the connection between Phantom Zone Zod and Child Zod, there's like, that's gonna come to a head-to-head at some point. Like, either that kid sent his dad to the Phantom Zone, or he's working to get his dad out of the Phantom Zone, or what, I don't know. There's too many variables. I could be here all day, so I'm just gonna stop talking. 'Cause I could barely follow my own thought process, so if you could, God bless. Talented. I think I covered just about everything. The quality of the coverage is, you know, up to debate, but I did cover everything. So I think I'm gonna end this one here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, comment, etc. All those good things that make me very, very happy. If you don't want to do any of that, but you've watched all the way to the end of this video, thank you. I still really, really appreciate you. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.